dark hallway. I've been here before. I walk forward, catching the warm scent of baked dough. A pizzeria. I stop dead in my tracks. Or rather, I was stopped by the gaze of 3 animatronics. A trio consisting of a bear, a rabbit, and a chicken. They were staring right at me. Their eyes were paralyzing. Suddenly, the smell of fresh pastry shifted into the metallic, sickening stench of blood. No, please, don't look at me. My name is Leo Morris. I'm 27 years old. I'm a former SWAT officer. I spent a long time deployed on high-risk operations. But recently, I had to return home to Phoenix, Arizona. During a hostage rescue mission in another state, I caught a bullet in the shoulder. That single piece of lead ended my tactical career and sent me packing back home. But when I opened the door to my parents' house, instead of warm hugs and joyful tears, I was met by my mother's pale, exhausted face. "Mom, what's wrong? Where's Dad?" I asked. She burst into tears immediately. I hugged her tight as she choked out the words. It turned out my dad had been battling advanced cancer the whole time I was away. He needed heavy treatment, and treatment required serious money. Money we didn't have. Walking into the bedroom and seeing my old man bedridden broke my heart. He used to be so active, so full of life. Now, he didn't even react when I called his name. "Dad? Dad, it's me, Leo. I'm home." Nothing. He just glanced at me with hollow eyes, gave a weak nod, and turned away. What a hell of a homecoming, right before Christmas. I spent the next few days hunting for any job that paid real cash. My military and police pension wouldn't even cover a fraction of the medical bills. After a week of searching, I was rejected everywhere. Some places said I lacked civilian experience, while other employers straight up feared that a gunshot wound to the shoulder meant I had PTSD and could snap at any moment. I was completely desperate. But then, like a stroke of luck, I found an ad, a night guard job at an old diner. The pay was insane, higher than most corporate office jobs in the city. I knew there had to be a catch. Is this a scam? Well, you don't know until you call. I dialed the number. Someone picked up almost instantly. "Freddy's Pizzeria. You can call me Sam. How can I help you?" "Hi, I'm calling about the night security vacancy for the night shift." "Great, thanks for calling. Yes, we have an opening from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Does that schedule work for you, Leo?" A 6-hour shift for that kind of money? Absolutely. I confirmed my readiness, and Sam gave me the address on Browning Street. "You can't miss it," he said. "We are the only diner in the area, and we have our mascot right on the neon sign." It was a 20-minute walk from my place. The snow was falling heavily, so I bundled up. As I walked, my mind raced. Why does a cheap pizza joint need a night guard? And why pay way above the market rate? I arrived and saw the small building. The neon sign buzzed, Freddy's, and right next to the text was a drawing of a dark green plush bear holding a microphone. Inside, the place looked stuck in the 1980s. Faded posters on the walls, neon geometric carpets, and plastic tables. The smell of fresh dough mixed with the faint echo of kids' laughter from earlier. A regular diner. Sam showed me my office. It was a cramped room with a monitor, an old desk phone, a huge window facing the hallway, and a heavy metal door to my right. "Watch the cameras here," Sam said, pointing at the control panel next to the monitor. "If anything happens, press this button to lock the door. Just sit tight, watch the monitors, and do occasional patrols." I immediately noticed a strange detail. Why would I ever need to lock a heavy metal door? Is someone going to break into a security office? Sam hesitated for a second. "Well, there is a small nuance. We don't pay you this much just to sit around. Follow me." We walked down the corridor to the main stage. 3 animatronics stood there with their heads down. "These guys make our revenue," Sam said. "They are on maintenance today, so they have a day off. But let me show you." Sam climbed the stage, flipped a switch behind them, and they snapped to life. They moved so sharply that I instinctively flinched. A creepy, synthesized melody started playing from each robot. What a bunch of creeps. How can these things entertain kids? They hit the uncanny valley effect perfectly. Sam turned them off. "Sorry if I scared you. Kids love them. Here is the thing. The program inside them sometimes glitches. They occasionally turn on by themselves at night and wander around the building. We keep them off during the day, but someone needs to watch them at night. That's why we need you. But don't worry, Leo. They are completely harmless. You can turn them off right here." He showed me a manual toggle switch on the back of each character. "Just flip it, and that's it." He introduced them. Freddy the bear, Bonnie the rabbit, and Chica the chicken. Curiously, they were all a dark green color. "It's our branding," Sam muttered. We went back to the office. "So, Leo, does this work for you?" I thought about my dad's medical bills and agreed. I can handle some glitchy robots. Yes, I'm in. Awesome. You can start tonight. Just one thing. Don't damage the robots. They make our cash. Night 1. The clock struck 12. The shift began. The pizzeria was empty, dead silent. I took my flashlight and went for a patrol. My footsteps echoed through the hollow halls. When I entered the main hall, the animatronics were completely still. But under the moonlight, their unnaturally human-like glass eyes sent a shiver down my spine. I walked closer, shining my light on Freddy. His lifeless pupils seemed to pierce right through me. Christ, what a nightmare, I muttered. Everything seemed fine, so I headed back to the office. Suddenly, A sharp metallic click echoed behind me. I spun around, shining the light on the stage. They hadn't moved an inch. Just my imagination, I thought. Back in the office, I spent hours flipping through camera feeds. By 3 a.m., time was flying. But during another check on the main stage, I realized the rabbit was gone. And here we go, I sighed. I searched the cameras and found him on the third try. He was standing completely still in the kitchen. Remembering Sam's instructions, I walked over there to flip the switch. I opened the kitchen door, shone my light, and saw Bonnie standing with his back to me. I stepped closer to reach the toggle on his spine. Suddenly, the mechanical freak spun around with a horrific metal screech, staring straight into my eyes. I jumped back, my heart pounding. "Holy mother of..." I gasped. I collected my thoughts and tried to circle around him. His head tracked my movements flawlessly. Every step I took to the left, his head snapped to the left. Being behind his back while he stared at me like that was pure horror. Finally, his head snapped back to the center position, and I flipped the switch. He went limp. The rest of the night passed quietly, but when 6 a.m. hit, I couldn't leave fast enough. My sleep that day was plagued by nightmares of those dark green mechanical faces. Night 2. I was exhausted, so I brought coffee. I usually avoid it due to high blood pressure, but I had no choice. After a quick patrol, I sat in the office, lazily switching cameras. Click, click, main stage. I choked on my coffee, coughing violently. All 3 animatronics were staring directly into the camera lens, their eyes fixed right on me, as if they knew I was watching. "They shouldn't be doing that," I whispered. I marched out to the stage. When I arrived, they were perfectly still. "Think you can fool me?" I said out loud. I climbed up and manually flipped the switches on all 3. Back in the office, everything was quiet until 4 a.m. Then, click. 2 of them were gone. Chica and Bonnie. I cursed loudly and checked the feeds. Bonnie was in the dining room. Chica was in the maintenance area. I went for Bonnie first. No issues, just flipped the switch. But Chica made me run. I entered the maintenance room, and as soon as I approached her, the machine slammed her heavy metal paws into my chest, knocking me back, and sprinted out the door. I was stunned. "You piece of junk! I'll tear you apart!" I yelled, chasing after her. She didn't go far, standing near the stage. I approached cautiously and shut her down. Suddenly, a distorted, high-pitched laughter echoed through the speakers. Where did it come from? The laugh repeated. I walked to the stage. The sound was coming from Freddy. The bear had moved. I quickly reached behind him and shut him down too. The shift ended with a bizarre phone call at 5:59 a.m. I picked up the desk phone. "Hello? Who is this?" Just static. Then muffled words drowned in heavy interference. "I can't hear you. It's just static," I said, before hanging up. and heading home. Night 3, Christmas Eve. My dad looked terrible that day, and those dark green monsters wouldn't leave my head. At midnight, I looked at the monitors. Freddy had already moved. Chica and Bonnie were still on stage. Great start, I muttered, heading out to disable the bear. Back at it again, huh? I said as I approached him. The machine suddenly raised its arm violently and erupted into that awful laughter, mocking my defensive reflex. I flipped the switch and went back to the office. By 2 a.m., heavy sleep washed over me. I couldn't fight it and dozed off. I woke up suddenly with a sickening feeling of being watched. I raised my head, and through the glass window, I saw Chica's twisted metal face staring directly at me. I nearly fell out of my chair, but the real panic set in when I saw Freddy standing in the right doorway. I leaped up and slammed the button to drop the heavy metal door. Something was deeply wrong. Sam said they wander, but trying to corner the guard? Suddenly, a violent slam rattled the room. Chica began hammering on the glass window with her mechanical fist. I stood, paralyzed. Then, just as suddenly, the banging stopped. They walked away. I checked the cameras. All 3 were back on stage, staring into the lens. But in the far corner of the screen, through the static, I saw a faint silhouette. It was entirely black, like a living shadow, shaped like a human. The moment the entity realized I saw it, it vanished. I have to turn them off. I get paid for this. My dad needs the money, I repeated to myself. I grabbed my flashlight, opened the door, and walked to the stage. The trio stood motionless. I stepped behind them to check the switches, and my blood ran cold. The switches were already in the off position. Then how the hell are they moving? The answer came as all 3 robots snapped their heads around to face me. Their eyes had completely changed. The pupils were gone, replaced by solid, glowing white spheres, veined with a bloody red tint. Freddy grabbed me by the collar and hurled me across the room. I crashed onto the cold floor, pain exploding through my body. They stepped off the stage, advancing on me. My survival instinct kicked in. I scrambled to my feet and ran for my life, hearing heavy, metallic footsteps sprinting right behind me. I locked myself back in the office. My phone rang. Hello? Sam? Is that you? Through heavy static, a frantic voice cut through. No, listen to me. You don't have much time. I tried to warn you, but the reception is terrible there. Who are you? The guy who worked before you. The one who survived. This is my 3rd time trying to call. This place, it's not right. It's evil. What are you talking about? The robots. There is something else inside them. Malevolent entities. They feed on people. They watch you for days until you drop your guard. Then they hunt. They want your body. Your insides. This is insane. It's a joke. Listen. 1. Do not go to the front exit. Sam will be waiting there.
He is one of them, just without a metal shell. Use the kitchen. There is a window they always leave open for ventilation. Go now, or you die!
The line went dead. In that exact second, Freddy's massive silhouette appeared at the window. The machine began to transform. It grew to nearly 2 meters, sharp fangs protruding from its jaw, claws extending from its fingers. It smashed the glass. Shards flew everywhere as I dived out of the room. I ran blindly along the path the caller gave me. Chica and Bonnie were patrolling the halls, now looking like literal demons. I crouched, crawling past them in the shadows of the main hall. I hid behind a knocked-over table, praying the rabbit wouldn't hear me breathe. His heavy, mechanical breathing rasped in the dark, furious that his prey was missing. When he moved away, I bolted into the kitchen. Chica was already there, her heavy footsteps drawing closer. I spotted the open window, scrambled up the counter, and threw myself outside into the freezing snow.
I ran until my lungs burned. I blocked Sam's number and never looked back. That same night, my dad passed away. After the funeral, I took my mother and moved to a completely different state to start over. Today, I work as a dispatcher at a local police precinct. Sometimes the dark green faces haunt my dreams, but I am alive. I still don't fully understand what that place was, but I hope it stays in the past forever.